tell us again what it is, Marcus.
Well, we run a whole series of regional accommodation finding websites, for example, iknow-northwest covering this area, iknow Lake District, etc. And that's where you can find really great, interesting places to stay.
Well, how do you find your places? You're talking about not the big hotels.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about smaller ones, or ones that are a little bit unusual.
Yeah, well, lots of people, I mean, obviously the internet nowadays, everybody's using it. So if you're thinking of going to the Lake District, you might be thinking of Ambleside or something, and you type into Google Ambleside B&B or something like that. And our site is very good at appearing there in the top of that list, and you'll look at that, and then you'll see lots and lots of different choices and lots of different options. And I guess the great thing for us is that with our sort of core customer base is the independent hotelier or B&B owner, and we provide an outlet on the internet for them, which sort of takes care of a lot of their headache of marketing themselves, and we just pass on lots and lots of business that way.
So would you sort it out for them? If somebody got in touch with a small B&B, for example, in Ambleside, would you then say, well, we'll come and take the photograph and put you on there and sort it all out?
Well, we don't take the photographs because we just have our offices in Leyland, if you like, and so these days most people have their own website if they're a B&B or something like that, and they generally have access to their own photography. They've got their own photos being taken, so we can take those quite easily, and then we do generate all the writing about the property and make it look like an interesting place to stay. We try and talk to the B&B owner and say, why would someone choose your place as opposed to the one next door, and find out the interesting things about it.
Where are people clicking onto you from? All over the world?
It is all over the world. I mean, I think 90% of our audience is UK based, and then the rest of the world. It is incredible. You can get this information nowadays of one or two people in the Congo or something every month, or all around the world. But then English-speaking places tend to be the next on the list. America, New Zealand, and Australia being the biggest ones.
It's amazing, isn't it, when you start to think like that? It is going all over the world. So if somebody puts "I know" in on Google, that will bring up your website, and
yes.
then they need to narrow that down to where they're looking.
Well, no, people normally have it in their mind. Most people probably wouldn't have heard of us particularly, and right, so they'll just think, right, I want to go to the Lake District, so they might just type in Lake District B&B, or they might want a cottage, or they might be more precise about their location, or they might even be much more precise than that, and they might think, right, I want to stay in Windermere in a hotel that's got a swimming pool. And people are just getting much more savvy nowadays of using Google predominantly, to refine their search and find exactly what they're looking for first time, rather than trawling through lots of different sites.
Now, how do you make your money?
Well, quite simply, the people, the accommodations that appear on our site, they pay to be there each year. It's just an annual fee, so we don't take any booking commissions. So it's very easy for them to budget. They're paid to be there, and they can take as many bookings as they can, and then that comes down partly to them in terms of the quality of the images and the photographs, and the context that they can provide with us.
Have you found that people are doing this stay-at-home thing that you're supposed to be doing now?
Yes, staycation is a big word. We call it, that's it. Well, we call it brickpacking, actually. We put our own little slant on it. But yeah, definitely this year we've seen some very high sort of visitor numbers and booking levels throughout the UK. But it has been mixed, I mean, obviously it's been a tough time for a lot of people in the economy. So some people may be switching an overseas holiday for a UK holiday, but on the flip side of that, there may be fewer people taking a short break, making a last-minute decision. So it has been mixed, but overall, in the year, we've grown tremendously. The website's grown tremendously, and lots more people using it.
And winning prizes. How did you come about doing it then, Marcus? What did you do when you left school? Were you a computer geek?
No, well, no, not really. I did do computer science A level, but that was the worst one I did. I got an E for that, I think.
Stephen,
yeah.
You got an E.
But no, design was my thing in those days, and I went to study industrial design, which it's like product design really, in terms of, and got interested in how people use things, and went further on in that, in actual fact, and studied a master's degree in ergonomics, which is the study of how people use things. And so I've always had that interest, and I went off into industry and doing various different things for a while. But I feel now that doing what I'm doing in terms of, we've created these websites, and the way that people use them and find them is integral to why they work. You know, when someone finds a website, that's half the battle, but then they've actually got to want to interact with it. And a lot of people, you know, you go onto some websites, I'm sure we've all done it, and you'll wait ages for it to load, and then when it does load, you think, why did I bother for this? And you just click straight off. You've got to make it wherever someone enters your site, you've got to make it nice and simple and fast and easy to use.
And engaging, which is exactly like radio. The minute you find us on the dial, we want you to stay with us. You're listening to BBC Radio Lancashire. The time now, 12:15.